Hey friends, welcome aboard. It's time for your May 2024 Cape Coral Real Estate Market Update. Amidst the chatter of soaring inventory levels, questions can arise. Are we teetering on the edge of a collapse akin to 2008? I'm Barry Cessna, your Cape Coral real estate agent, and I'm here to steer you through the maze of headlines and YouTube noise to uncover the true story. Today we delve into the numbers that truly drive our market here in Cape Coral. What are homes actually selling for? Does the surge in inventory foreshadow a crash in prices? Should you be making moves in or out or staying put? I have the facts you need to make informed decisions about your next steps in the Cape Coral real estate scene. But remember, the headlines often paint an incomplete picture. That's where I come in. Whether you're considering buying, selling, relocating, or investing here in the city of Cape Coral, I'm here to provide the insights and guidance you need. Schedule a video consultation with me by clicking the link in the description below. Let's navigate this market together. Speaking of finding your slice of paradise, let me share with you a recent success story I had. A client from the Northeast connected with me via YouTube and scheduled a Zoom call. We pinpointed their dream property, they flew in for the final approval, and now they're living the dream, lounging poolside, gazing at their boat bobbing in the canal behind their new home. If you're ready to discover your own tropical oasis here in Cape Coral, Florida, I'm excited to help you make it happen. So without further ado, let's dive into the numbers and uncover the story behind the Cape Coral real estate market.
Welcome to the Cape Coral Market Update for May 2024. I'm Barry Cessna, your Cape Coral real estate agent. And today we're going to dive into the latest numbers here in the city of Cape Coral. First thing we're going to do is we're going to look at the current numbers here for the end of April 2024. Then we're going to go back 90 days to January 2024. And we're going to go back an entire year to April 2023. We're going to take a good zoom out and take a look at the numbers and compare and see which direction the market's heading, where it's come from, and what you can do to take advantage of this current real estate market here in the city of Cape Coral. I know they've been saying the inventory has been going off the charts, which is true. It has risen quite a bit in the last few months. We're going to dive into that and kind of pick that apart and have a new understanding of what's going on there. So let's go ahead and get started. First thing we're going to look at is market indicators. Market indicators help us understand what's going on in the market. By understanding what the indicators are, we can then take the numbers and understand what they are telling us. So first thing we're going to look at is inventory. Inventory is the amount of properties available on the market for sale right now. Now, this particular market report is for single-family homes. So we're going to look at all the single-family homes available here in the city of Cape Coral. Median price point, how much do the homes sell for? Median price point means that 50% of the homes sold for above that number and 50% of the homes sold below that number. Next, we'll look at days on the market. How many days are homes sitting on the market before going under contract? Closed sales. Closed sales is an indicator of demand. This shows us exactly how many homes have sold over the course of the last 30 days. We're going to compare that to 90 days back and then back 1 year to April 2023. This is going to give us a real indication of what's happening here in the market and how it's been going over the last 12 months. So let's jump in. All right, first thing we're going to look at is active inventory. How many homes are currently available on the market here in the city of Cape Coral? So single family homes in April 2024, we had 2,786 homes currently available for purchase. January 2024, we had 2,724 homes available for purchase. And April 2023, 1,683 homes were available last year at this time. So as you can see, we've had a huge jump. Now, you've been looking at the headlines. I've been looking at the headlines. Everybody's been seeing the headlines that the real estate market is falling apart. Inventory is increasing like crazy. Cape Coral has increased the most out of any city in the whole United States. So let's dive into that and take a look and understand what's going on exactly. Now, some folks will tell you that new construction homes is what's driving the inventory. That is true to an extent. We have had a lot of new homes just built by investors that have hit the market, which is driving inventory levels up. Now, just to give you some idea, last year we had about 400 new construction homes available on the market. This year we have just over 600. So inventory has increased a bit, but this inventory is not all coming from new construction. The other thing we need to look at is last year, in 2022, we had a hurricane. The hurricane damaged a handful of houses, several houses, as you know, and so homes needed to be replaced, or homes needed to have roofs replaced. They needed to have things repaired, and they weren't ready to hit the market for season last year. So when February, January came along, people that wanted to sell their homes could not sell their homes because there was something going on. Maybe the roof needed to be replaced and they couldn't get it replaced, or screens needed to be put into the lanai, different things like that. That created a challenge for people to sell their homes during season. And if you know anything about Cape Coral, you know that the best time to sell your home when the most buyers are here in the area is January, February, March, and April. So those homes were kept off the market. As we rolled through 2023, we circled back around. Now the homes were ready to go. They had a new roof, they had new screens in the lanai, and maybe they needed a new kitchen, different remodels going on. But those homes were ready to hit the market once season hit for 2024. And that's what's been happening over the last several months. Starting in January, we started to see inventory increase quite a bit. So as you can see down here, where we were at, and as we went through the year, we did start jumping, and then we really jumped in January, February, March, and then as you see here, we actually dropped. Like we talked about last month, I expected, because of the demand that's here in Cape Coral right now with the snowbirds, people that come down during the season, that we would see a lot of those homes go off the market and not be replaced. So we did have several homes go off the market. We're sitting at just under 2,800 now, 2,786 homes available on the market. So what's going to happen during the summer? Well, we'll have less demand, but we're also going to see fewer homes coming to the market throughout the summer. So I don't expect this number to move much. Now, just to give you an idea of what is a normal market, we've been sitting in such an abnormal market the last several years with those very low inventory levels. A normal market, we'd want to see this number being right around 23, 24, maybe 2,200. So 2,786, that's a big jump from where we were. But in the big picture, where we've been the last 20, 30 years, this number's not that big in comparison, and especially due to the increase of population that we've had. We have a lot of people living here, a lot more than we're here. So 2,786, not anything to panic about, something to just understand why that number's higher than it was. But we're going to see that number stick around for a few more months through the summer, and then it will start to dwindle, I believe, as we get into the fall, and especially once we get into season next year. Next, we look at median price point. Median price point for April 2024 was $417,450. January 2024, $422,500. And April 2023, $415,000. Now, as we've been talking about in the market reports for the last several months, is prices aren't changing. People keep saying that the prices are going to drop, that everything's falling apart, that we're going to see we're going to have the opportunity to take advantage of these low prices once they drop to those low prices. Now, as you can see where we've been the last year, just above 400,000. We were up a little bit during season last year. We dropped a little bit in the summer and into the fall. And then once season wrapped back around, we came up a little bit. Last month's numbers, we were right at 400,000. And then as you can see, for April, we jumped back to 417,000. So if you're in the mindset of waiting until the houses get slashed by 33%, that's not happening. It's not going to happen. So really pay attention. My advice is if you find a house that you like and it's priced right, grab it, because that's the biggest thing, is to find a home that's going to work for you. You can always renegotiate those interest rates down the road, but as far as prices go, we're sitting pretty comfortable. Now, you may see prices drop over the summer. I'd expect July, August, September to see prices start to drop just a bit, maybe 1%, but to save $4,000, $5,000, $6,000 and pass on a house that you really like, or to be stuck up in the north when you're trying to get down here, that's just silly over a few $1,000s. So pay attention, watch the market reports. We'll always indicate where they're going. But as of right now, we're sitting at $417,450 for a median price point. And we've been there for months and months and months. About the last 18 months, we've been right around that point. Now you might say, well, Barry, what about the average price point? That's a great question. In last month, April 2024, the average price for a home in the city of Cape Coral was $526,000. Now, looking back over the last several months, in the last couple of years, that's the second highest it's been since June of 2022 when the market peaked. June of 2022 till now, that was the second highest number. So if you're thinking prices are going down, prices aren't going down. If we do lose a little bit of demand over the summer, they may drop a little bit, but we still have a lot of people. I talked to a lot of my clients and future clients that keep telling me, Barry, I'm waiting for interest rates to drop. I'm waiting for this, I'm waiting for that. But there's a lot of people sitting on the sidelines ready to go. And once they see a little bit of indication, they're going to jump in. And we've already seen that this season where the number's a little higher than they were last season. where people did jump in. They got tired of waiting. They're tired of being in the north during winter. They're tired of renting once they come down here for the season. So they bought that second home and they're ready to go. Let's jump to the next screen. Days on the market. How many days are homes sitting on the market before going under contract? April 2024 was 47 days on the market. January 2024 was 51 days, and April 2023 was 28 days. So as we can see, we've jumped up there as well. If you look at the chart down here, we went right along there, and then during last fall, we did jump up a bit, and now we are starting to trend back down because the demand has been here. That might jump up a little bit during the summer. I expect that too. But what we want to understand here is that average day on the market, we want to be probably right around 30, 35. That's what's healthy for the market. So we're not too far off with 47, but we are a little high there. Closed sales. Now this is getting exciting because last year, 2023, we had really low sales for the city of Cape Coral and the whole United States for that matter. People were just kind of sitting on the sidelines waiting to see what happened. Now the market's been about the same. Prices haven't gone up. They haven't gone down for the last 18 months. This is where we're at now. This season has been very strong. We had 502 single-family home sale in the city of Cape Coral in April of 2024. January 2024, 279, which was our lowest for the last 18 months, very low. People weren't shopping in December, so they weren't closing on homes in January. April 2023, we had 496. Now this was last year, a whole year ago. So this gives you an idea of where our market was last year. Now I like to get the numbers out to you as soon as possible. So this number is actually going to increase probably up to 525, 530, somewhere in that range. Once all the numbers get put in, some real estate agents, after they close on a house, they don't get the house entered into the MLS system for a few days. So this number is going to increase as well. Right now it's sitting at 502, but I expect that fully to be at 525, 530 once all the numbers come in. As you can see our chart, what happens during season, we go up, we have a lot of closed sales. May of last year was actually higher of April than last year, and I expect that to be high again this year. So we'll probably be around 530, 540, 550 once all the numbers come in for May. Looking at this, what happens is these homes go under contract in February and March, and then they finally close in May because most people, as you know, are going to close 30 days, 45 days out from when it goes under contract. So that's why we see a lot of closes in May, even though that's kind of out of season. All those homes are put under contract mid-March and April. And then as we get into the summer, you see those numbers start to trickle down. And then we start to go back up once season falls back around again. Best opportunity to get your best prices is going to be August, September. However, I wouldn't expect to save a whole lot of money based on what the market's been looking like. Okay, we need to talk about this chart. I've been seeing this chart go around on Facebook, Instagram quite a bit. This is on our MLS dashboard. It shows us the market for the last 7 days. It's a quick snapshot to give us an idea of what's going on here in the city of Cape Coral. But one of the things that I see a lot of real estate agents focusing on is price decrease, this price decrease. And what that tells us is people put their homes on the market and then they didn't sell or they haven't sold for 3-4 weeks and they decide to decrease the price. So people in their minds think, oh, wow, Cape Coral's fallen apart in the last 7 days. 421 people have lowered the price on their home, which is correct. But that doesn't mean that the market is going down in value. People are pricing their homes too high. The reason that's happening is two reasons. Either the seller, remember seeing those prices in 2022, which were about 8% higher back then when we peaked in June of 2022, and they want to try to get that top dollar for their house, which is respectable. Everybody wants the most money for their house when they sell it. I understand that. But the other reason is too that real estate agents, either they don't know the market or they're not educating their clients on the market in order to get them a quick sell at the right price. Best way to do that is to understand your market. And the number one way to know how much a home is worth is to look at the sold homes in your area that are comparable to your home. If we know how much the home sold for down the street, we can then know how much your house is going to sell for. A lot of people get stuck looking at the active listings and think they can sell their house for the same price that all their house is listed for, which just isn't the case oftentimes. We've got to look at those sold prices, and sold prices have not decreased much over the last 18 months. They've been right around the same. They go up, they go down every month just by a few $1,000s. So this screen here showing price decrease 421, that's true, but that doesn't mean that the Cape Coral real estate market is falling apart and homes are people are just giving homes away. That's not the case. But it does give you the opportunity to negotiate some good opportunities. Next, we're going to look at is other key numbers. So first thing is first, sold price per square foot. The sold price per square foot in Cape Coral was $271 a square foot for a single family home here in the city of Cape Coral. List price received 98.1%. 98.1%, that tells us how much sellers were willing to negotiate off the purchase or off the list price. That number is only 2%, very low. That tells me that sellers aren't real motivated right now. They're putting their homes on the market to see if they'll sell. If not, they'll just wait. And that's where we're at. People have a lot of equity. They're not real concerned about selling their homes fast. Some of them would like to sell, but they're not real concerned about selling fast. So we're seeing at 98.1%. They've only come off the list price 2%, which is higher than it has been recently. But if you have the right real estate agent, there's still room to negotiate. And I love to find people great deals. So I'm here to help you out with that if you want to try to get a little more than 2% off the list price. New listings in the city of Cape Coral. We had 838 new listings come to the market, which is still high. We're still seeing new homes come onto the market. These are people that we're running to get them on the market for season. Maybe some reason they weren't ready to go quite yet, but now they've put them on the market. Give you an idea, back in January, we had over 1,000. In February, we had 800 new homes hit the market. So this number is coming down a little bit, but it's still fairly high in my opinion. Next month, we're going to see that drop quite a bit. Months of inventory, 5.5 months of inventory. That means if no new houses came on the market, from today forward, it would take us 5.5 months to sell out all the houses based on the demand, based on the closed sales that we had last month. Now, as we've talked about before, anything between 4 and 6 months is a neutral market. Once we get to 6 months of inventory, that becomes a buyer's market. Anything below 4% is considered a seller's market. So right now, we are very much in a neutral market, trending towards a buyer's market, but we're in a neutral market. So for anybody that says Cape Coral's real estate market is falling apart, and even with our increased inventory, we had increased demand, we're only sitting at 5.5 months of inventory, which is something to pay attention to. The numbers are the numbers are the numbers are the numbers, and that's what we go off of here with the Cape Coral Cape Coral market update when you're chatting with me. So let's jump ahead. Key numbers. Now, as you know, I like to look at the key numbers. These are the key economic numbers that we want to look at that kind of dictate how the economy and the market is going as we move forward. Inflation peaked at 9.1% in June 2022. Now it's sitting at 3.5%. Now, if you've been paying attention to this, you know inflation did increase just a bit. We were sitting about 3.1, 3.2, and we jumped to 3.5 with the last numbers that came out here a couple weeks ago. And what that did to interest rate, the Federal Reserve came out and said, well, we're seeing that inflation isn't going down. We want to get it to 2%, but it's still sitting at 3.5%. So we're not going to lower the interest rates. We're going to just keep steady and see what happens. Now, we had that conversation last month on the market report, and we had information that interest rates were going to start dropping by May 1st or into the summer. We're going to see those come down a little bit. And I was getting excited because I thought we were going to see the 6.5%. Well, unfortunately, inflation was still high. And the other indicator that's affecting interest rates as well in the Federal Reserve is unemployment. People are employed. We don't have many jobs in the United States. Everyone that wants to work is working. And we're sitting at 3.8% on the unemployment market. So just to give you some insight there, last month we were at 3.9%. We're at 3.8%. Federal Reserve said we have a very healthy employment market, and because of that too, we're not going to lower interest rates. So basically, they want to see people not working, and they want to see inflation go to 2%. That's what's going to get these interest rates to lower. Currently, we peaked November 2023 at 8.01%. We're now sitting at 7.36%. Our target is 6.5%, like we keep talking about. If we hit 6.5% or below, we're going to see prices start to jump quite a bit. So for you that have been sitting on the sidelines, waiting and waiting and waiting, you've had a lot of opportunity because the market's been pretty level the last 18 months. But don't wait too long before you jump in, or you might be paying a much higher price. Supply. Current inventory in the city of Cape Coral right now is 2,816 homes available. That was right at the end of April. Year over year increase is 60%. So where the market jumped from last year, April, to this year, April, we saw a 60% increase in inventory, which is a big jump. However, like we talked about, last year's numbers were still pretty low. This year we're above average, but we have room, and I think this is going to come down over the next few months, and we'll level out right around 2,500. Demand. As you know, Cape Coral is on fire. Cape Coral has a lot of demand. People want to be here. People want to live here. People want to relocate to Cape Coral. They want to have their second home here so they can sit canal side, watch their boat, and enjoy those amazing sunsets. Demand, our population right now is estimated at 231,000 people in the city of Cape Coral. 6 years, we're expected to be over 250,000 people. And by 2050, we're going to have 320,000 people here in the city of Cape Coral, often considered one of the fastest growing cities in the United States. And you can see that by all the development going on here. Not just homes being built everywhere, but new infrastructure. We have new shopping centers. We have new apartment complexes going up, luxury apartment complexes. Lots of great restaurants coming to the area. So just a really great opportunity to be here in Cape Coral and take advantage of these numbers and to get in now, because as we move forward, prices are going to increase. It's just not a matter of when they're, it's a matter of when they're going to increase, not if they're going to increase, because they're definitely going to increase, but it's just a matter of when. So let's jump next into, is now the time to buy? 3 key points to consider when you're thinking about buying here in the city of Cape Coral. Right now, number one, you have lots of inventory, many great options. So when you have a lot of great options, you get to pick the best. So you're going to most likely find the home that you're looking for here right now with this high inventory count. As we move into the summer and fall, we're not going to have as much inventory, so it can be a little bit more of a challenge to find the correct house that you're looking for in the right location. So right now you have options. That's one great reason to buy. Number two, prices remain unchanged year over year. Like we talked about for the last 12 months, really 18 months, prices haven't changed. They've been stagnant, right around that 400,000 median price point, a little bit above, a little bit below. But it only is going to stay like that for so long before it starts to jump. So pay attention. Right now is a great time to buy if you're concerned about price, because coming up, they may start to jump. I expect them to go down just a little bit once you get into the summer, maybe 1% or so, but really not much of a difference to really keep you from buying if you're thinking about if you find the right house. Number three, refinance interest rate, lock price. Right now, you can get into the home, you're going to get a high interest rate, but more and more people are starting to be comfortable with that higher interest rate. They're accepting that fact. So they are buying now. That's why we're seeing the demand increase. Once you get down the road, you can refinance. But what you're doing now is locking in the best price. Next, we're going to look at, is now the time to sell? So those of you that are sitting on the sidelines thinking, oh my goodness, all this inventory, maybe it's a terrible time to sell. So let's chat about that a little bit. Right now, there is higher than average inventory. That's true. You've got a lot of competition out there. However, one thing to think about though, is that if your house is beautiful, it's in great shape, ready to go, you're not going to have any trouble selling it as long as it's priced right. The other thing to think about too is if you want to sell to an investor, your home needs a little bit of work. There's lots of investors willing to jump into the market as well. So lots of great opportunities there. Prices remain unchanged year over year. Prices haven't gone up a lot, but you haven't missed out on. So some people were saying last year at this time, prices are going to drop. They're going to fall apart. You're going to be selling your house for 30% less. That just hasn't happened. We're looking at the demand, we're looking at the supply, and we don't expect that to happen. So that would be another reason to jump into the market if you want to do it now, just to make sure that doesn't happen. However, we do expect the prices to jump once the interest rates do drop back down. Number three, needs to be priced correctly. That's the most important. If you want to sell your house, you can sell your house in any market as long as it's priced correctly. The advantage is right now you haven't really lost much by not selling your house. You can price it correctly. We want to look at the sold homes in the area, in your neighborhood, that are comparable to yours, not the ones that are currently active. The sold homes dictate what the market's telling us, and that's how we can price it correctly. You also want to make sure that you have a great real estate agent to market your home correctly with the best photos, the best networks of other real estate agents and brokerages, and the best social media, YouTube channels, things like that can really promote your property. All right, so thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate you taking the time to watch this video. Go hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. Now, what I'd love to do, especially for you folks from the north, or if you're here in the Cape Coral area, go ahead and schedule your free consultation with me today. You can click the link in the description right below, schedule yourself into my calendar, and we'll have a quick 15-20 minute chat and see if what you're trying to do makes sense. And we can see and direct you and strategize on how to make your dreams become a reality here in the city of Cape Coral. Go ahead and take a picture of this. You've got my QR code here, all my information that you're ever going to need. And I would love to chat with you and help you find the best home available here in the city of Cape Coral for your needs. A lot of great opportunities right now. Go ahead and reach out to me. My name is Barry Cessna, your Cape Coral real estate agent, and I can't wait to chat with you, making realty dreams a reality here in the city of Cape Coral.